Hello everyone, welcome to the Beowulf Training Podcast with me, Ben, and where's Scott? Scott is not here yet, he's caught up in traffic, but he's assured me that he's on his way, so I thought instead of waiting for him, we just get things cracking so they're not too kind of held up on time and we have to kind of rush through the rest of the podcast. It's just me for now, which some people might be really pleased about, and others might not be. Either way, it's the situation that we've got. So today we are talking about something that we addressed earlier in the week, and our kind of placard for the week, our mantra for the week, if you will, is wake up. Start the day as you mean to go on, create time for yourself, build awareness. Now, I wrote this one. What I kind of mean by start the day as you mean to go on, and to put a bit more context into this, we talk a lot about getting up early, and we often promote to our clients that they should try to get up early. And here Scotty's arrived by now. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Huggins.
What's up?
You alright? How are you? Are you good?
Yeah.
Are you ready to podcast?
Yeah. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, so just kind of talking about waking up early, it's something that I'm standing on your phone. It's something that we get a lot of. I always encourage my clients to do. Early is relative, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You're someone that gets up pretty early, right?
Yeah.
What time would you typically wake up?
Depending on any week, but generally work stipulates that I'm up on average between 5:15 and 5:30 every morning.
That's really early. Do you like that? Do you not like? No. You struggle.
No. Yeah. I think that it's not necessarily the waking up that I struggle with. It's what's come before that point. So if I've had a late night to an early finish, that's the thing that makes it harder to wake up. So I think we've discussed in previous podcasts. For me, it's more about the nighttime routine and what I do before I go to bed that impacts the way that I feel getting up early in the morning. Some days I wake up and it's alright, other days I wake up and it's like the worst thing ever.
I mean, essentially you do shift work, right? Like it's the early morning. It's fairly common from personal trainers to do shift
less
work.
Now, but my Wednesday, Thursday I do a early block, so an early shift, nothing in the day, so nothing. I'm at home with the day, and then evening, and then I do that again on Thursday.
Yeah.
It used to be like 4 or 5 days a week that I was doing that, including a weekend morning as well. So can't really complain now compared to what it used to be.
Yeah. I have a lot of clients that will finish work mega late. Even though they don't work shifts, they have similar patterns, or they're answering emails late at night, and then they've got to get up early because they've got to be in the office at 9, the commute takes an hour, and it can quickly chain together. But the kind of reason that I want people to think about waking up early is how often do we, and you get up early partially through necessity, your clients are there, and I've definitely done that as well, where I've got up at 5:30 every morning, every weekday morning, because got to get to work, and then you kind of through habit end up kind of getting up pretty early at the weekends as well, right? Like, particularly if you've got young kids and stuff. But the mere act that if you get up early, you go to bed a bit earlier because you get tired, and then it snakes around. You build a bit of a routine, which is ideal. But it's something that I kind of want people to, because my schedule is a lot different because I live a lot further away from the gym. Going home in the middle of the day is not really an option for me, or it's not a good use of time for me to then go home and then come back. That means I'm in the car for 4 hours a day, which I'm not doing. So I kind of do evenings or mornings as a general rule. So like Monday to Thursday, I could wake up pretty late, but I intentionally get up very early because I found myself, if I complain about, I really had this sense of there's not enough hours in the day to get done what I need to do. It's like, right, you can sit and you can wish that there's more hours in the day, but there's not going to be any more hours. It's 24 hours. You've got.
It's not going to change.
It's been allotted. So the only way you can actually get it is to create the time for yourself, and that's just getting up early. And what you probably find is so. And I like the kind of mental edge of it now. It's something that I've got I see it as a bit of a challenge. Like I woke up this morning, I could have really done with some extra sleep, but I was like, nah, get up. And when you do it, it's like, right, you suffer for like 5 minutes, you know, that drag to the bathroom, you know, until you get in the shower and stuff like that, where you feel pretty rotten, or until your first cup of coffee or whatever. But you can get over it pretty quickly as well.
Are you a snoozer?
No, not at all. Never ever.
I am.
I don't think there's a place for it. If you've got stuff to do,
Mate,
either sleep until that time.
There's always stuff to do. There's always stuff to do. I've gotten to the point where I'll actually end up setting my alarm earlier to accommodate at least 2 snoozes in 8 minutes.
That's insane. Just get the sleep.
I like it. Just feels nice to be in bed. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I've never been a snoozer. I've never liked it. I've done it on like
I've
occasion.
never been that guy that's like alarm goes off, boom, straight out of bed. Let's get to the bathroom and start getting ready. I've never been that guy either. Sometimes I'll have days where I'm like, get up. I actually have to like.
Yeah, I mean,
will myself to get up, and
that's probably a lot of my clients have that.
If I didn't have appointments and didn't have a necessity for me to be at the gym for 6:30 a.m. for my first appointment or 6:15 for my first class, there's no way in hell that would be up at that time anyway. Like out of choice.
Yeah. I mean, I think people there's like a bit of a time. So I do 6:30 in the morning. It's not like outrageously early, but you know, I can go to.
General people, most.
Yeah, it's everything's a bit quiet. I feel like I can get a bit of work done before everyone's up and about, and you know, there's and things like that. And it's not to say that I'm this like insane disciplined guy. I've always been a bit like this with waking up. I've never been one that likes to kind of lie in bed for too long. I just get restless. I get bored, and I struggle to actually go back to sleep. So like snoozing's just not really an option unless I am incredibly exhausted. But I just think it's one of those things that I've got so many clients. You know, how many people say to you like, I haven't got time to train, and then I sit there and I'm like, we put out a video every week, like a 5 to 10 minute workout with no equipment. You could get up 15 minutes early and do it, and yeah, you might suck in the morning, it might be a crap workout, but like you've done it. The excuse is not there anymore. Like and you'd be the first to admit your snoozing it's you, right? Like it's you would never I'd never have you snooze and then you come in and go, I've just got no time at all, and like because you got up at 10 a.m.
That's the point.
Yeah,
that's the point. I snooze because it's something that I choose to do. If it was getting to the point where I didn't have enough time in the day to get things done. Like at the end of the day, there's never enough time in the day to get everything done you want to get done. But also the same on the flip side, if I got up that early, I'm not like you. Like in terms of getting like admin stuff done or programming and things like that, like I can't do that the first thing in the morning. Like my brain is just not switched on and wired to then start writing like content or programs. So,
but it is to work, right? Like
yeah.
I know you're not. You don't wake up and you're instantly coaching.
Coach, like you know, you get to the gym and it's the people coming into the gym, or you have that communication. Hi, how are you? Blah blah blah. Music switched on, like. That's a completely different feeling to me than sitting behind my laptop or on my notepad writing down a program. Yeah. You know?
And I think that, like I say, there is a time. You know, when I was up at 5:30 every morning, I'd get to about a Thursday, and I'd hit a bit of a wall.
Wednesday's my hump day.
Like
now's my
struggling.
Right, let's get past Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Thursday's a big day, like a long day, but it's only 2 days to the weekend, baby.
Yeah.
I'm like that guy now. Like I never used to look forward to the weekend because I was always working over the weekend. Whereas now it's like, mate, it was Saturday, Sunday off, not at the gym.
Yeah. I mean, it's you know, like that's what I mean is like there's going to be things that are going to get in the way and mean you can't have your optimal wake up time and things like that. And this isn't a call to get up at 5:30 in the morning every morning. It's a call to not waste time. You know, like don't use I need my sleep as an excuse to oversleep or to spend more time lounging around than you actually need to. I think it can be an incredibly
particularly if shit to get done.
and just a really positive thing on your day. Like you get up and you've already kind of had this little win, right? Like you've already kind of done something that other people don't do. Like I've got up early when I didn't have to.
Yeah.
Like there's something about that, and I think it kind of sets the whole rest of the day in town. Like for me, it helps in my training. It's like I got up early. I don't train in the morning. I train later in the day, but it's like I'm on this path. I'm on this like.
I suppose as well, the other thing where you can do is you've got up early, you've got your tasks done to free up the time later in the day for you to train.
Yeah.
And that, I think, I suppose from a personal perspective, sometimes I find myself chasing my tail a little bit.
And it's a dichotomy, because if you get up really early, you don't want to be totally fatigued and drained so that your training sucks. Like there is a balance. But that's kind of what I mean by start the day. You mean to go on and create the time for yourself. I think it's really important that people do that, at least to the best of their ability. The other thing is build awareness. You know, like you wake up to your situation. You know, like if you are the kind of person that, you know, we've talked about moaning, grumbling, like, oh, my job's not going where I need it to go, or this and this and this. Like, get up and do something about it. Like, there's a little bit of that. I mean, I had a situation. Sorry, I'm kind of dialing it back a bit, but like, there's a situation last week where I got a ton of email. Like, I got up early, got a load of work done, and I got a series of situations that I had to deal with, like, in quick succession, which ended up taking me like an hour and a bit, a couple of hours. And I had to be here for the afternoon to coach a client, and I was able to fit it all in. You know, when things took a bit of a left field,
because you'd already given yourself that block.
I'd done the stuff that I needed to do, like the stuff I needed to do that I was expecting. I could deal with things that I wasn't expecting and get to work on time and not be late for a client or anything like that.
And not be chasing your tail at the end. Yeah.
And not be, or go to work and be stressed out that I've got unfinished things hanging over me, be distracted, be lacking focus. You know, it's just something I want people to think about. So and then like I say, kind of awareness to your situation, stuff like that. So if you're going to take anything away from this, which we're hearing increasingly people listen to this podcast.
More and more, yeah. It's great. We're not just talking to each other, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like having a weekly conversation with my mates, all good.
But people come up to me.
You like to think that people are going to have a little bit more.
Yeah, well,
going to have some insight, and they're going to take some stuff away from it. So
clients come up and tell me, Francis just said a load of his clients listened to it. He went to a competition with some pals, and they listened to it on the way into the competition at the weekend.
No.
True story.
True story.
If you're listening again, guys, hello.
Nice.
Hello.
That was me just thinking it was me and you chatting to each other.
Just hanging out, yeah. So if you're going to take anything away from it, I would say, like, try keep your wake up time pretty consistent. That's the big thing. So if you usually get up at 8.
Sorry, I know you're in a bit of a flow there, but do you wake up at the same time on your days off as well?
I only have one day off.
Oh, okay. So your time you don't have anything in effect where you have to get up for.
I don't have an active alarm, so with me saying I get up at 6:30, I might wake up at about 7:30.
Really?
And then I'm up out of bed because I just.
What about Lizzie?
She gets up later on a day off. She'll get up later, but I'm like, she's like, oh, you just get up and shoot off. It's like, well, I don't want to wait, like
stuff to do.
Well, it's not even that I've got loads of stuff to do. It's like I'll get up and I'll potter around. I'll watch television. I'll do my kind of recreational R&R. You know, just like I'll chill and stuff because I'm awake. I have a bit of a weird fear of missing out. I feel like I'm one of those guys that like sits in bed and I'm like, I could be doing this. I could be learning how to skydive. I could be learning how to.
See, I'm that guy that's, you know, it's winter's time for hibernating. So that means when it comes to the summer, then I can get long days of enjoying more stuff. Like winter and stuff. I don't know if you guys do. Then comment if you do. But I find winter months, particularly from Christmas to probably like springtime, quite difficult in terms of like early starts, late finishes, being
definitely
dark.
Tougher, yeah, 100%.
Actually, like this week, where it's been like borderline tropical in the UK, like 20 degrees there outside, which is ridiculous for February. But generally, like last year, we had like snowstorms and blizzards. Like, you know, I'd be napping all the time as well. Like literally just sleep throughout the winter. I'm like a bear throughout the winter.
Yeah.
Springtime changes and like I can survive easily on a lot less sleep.
Yeah, I think light's a big effect of that.
All I feel like I need to do is sleep and recharge all the time.
Yeah. I think that's fairly common. It's definitely tougher in winter and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I encourage people to wake up half an hour earlier than they typically do, and just see what it's like, see what the day's like a bit earlier than everyone else, earlier than you normally would do it.
Sweet.
Cool. So that's wake up. I got some more Q&As. Obviously we're here to provide the A's, but I've got some more Q's. Put it that way. What's the quickest fix that you can recommend?
Quickest fix.
The quickest fix. I mean, I don't know what
we
we're
don't
fixing.
believe in quick fix. Yeah.
But what's the like? If someone said to you, like, "All right, Scott, you're a personal trainer. I've got a minute. Help me."
If you're looking for fat loss, skip a meal a day.
Just skip a meal.
Fast track calorie deficit straight away.
That's literally a quick
fix. Done. If it was a movement, if it was something like a squat, knees out. I say that so much.
Knees out.
Plank hold position, squeeze your butt. Like they're all cues that we say literally like.
Yeah, I mean that is fix the squat, knees out.
Plank hold, squeeze your butt.
I think with
with
exercise, I'd emphasise just keep your back straight. Whatever you're doing.
But things you can say, okay, squeeze your butt for most things. Standing press overhead, squeeze your butt.
Yeah.
Bench pressing, squeeze your butt. Because it's a way of being able to midline brace, and if you're midline
sitting down
braced, squeeze your butt, engage your trunk, engage your midline, and then you're going to get much better force output in whatever movement you're doing, and more control.
Someone's taking a photo of you from behind.
Squeeze your ass.
Well,
actually, no, that's not the case. If it's Instagram, you don't want to squeeze your ass when you're on Instagram, do you? You want to do the opposite.
What, relax it and make it?
Relax and arch your back to make it look like you've got a massive booty.
Just whatever you do.
Just me?
Whatever you do, don't squeeze anyone else's ass without consent and permission.
I suppose, quick fix. Cut a meal and drink more water. Bosh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know I'm not sure about cut a meal.
But again, you just ask Michael.
Yeah. Mine would be, I'd get the benefit of reading these and having a bit of a think about it. Mine would be get a logbook. So even if you're doing something shit, something dreadful, you do it quicker, faster, stronger. Yeah, you might get injured in a bit, but you'll get a bit better at it.
You get a bit injured, but
but what I mean is, if someone's like, I go for a run. It's like, cool, log it, beat it.
Yeah. How far did you go? How long did you run for?
Yeah.
What was your route? How did you feel?
It's like, I like squatting. Cool. How many squats can you do in a minute? Log it, beat it.
Yeah. How much weight can you squat for 5 reps, 3 reps, 2 reps?
And just
track it.
Yeah. How many pull-ups can you do? Cool. Log it.
When you log stuff in your logbook, do you write down how you feel as well, or is it literally just like?
Nah, not really.
You just look at like quantitative data. You just look at data and numbers. You don't look at the.
My chair's broken. No, I write if some, like, if I'm like, I did some kettlebell swings the other day and I got straight into them, my back felt really tight. I'd just done a load of back squat, a load of front squat, and then I was like, I'll do some swings.
Just do some hinges.
And just felt fatigued. So I'll write that more as a note for me that when I reprogram, maybe change the order a little bit, or if I get a number that I know is impaired for whatever reason, if I'm like, my knee's jacked up or something like that. I had my lower back issues earlier and I was like, I reckon it's, like, I'll make a little note just to remind myself, like, this is the number. So I'm like, my logbook, like, if you looked at it, would not make any sense at all to you.
Yeah, but you'd look at my logbook and it wouldn't make any sense either.
I don't know, you've got very neat handwriting.
Yeah, but also, like, we've got a whiteboard right here, but generally when I'm doing programming on my ramblings and stuff, people probably don't understand what I'm writing there.
Well, you've got the context in your head. There's certain elements, particularly with your own training, it's quite easy to remember, like, the last time I did this happened, and to a degree. But if I ever feel like that's information that I might forget, I'll make a little note of it. But I'm not like, good workout today, bro. Like, you did it. You deserve this. I suppose,
suppose more technical. I suppose for clients as well. Like, you know, if we use an example, we use like the squat and the deadlift quite often because they're kind of universal movements that everyone does. Sometimes you get people, they say, "Oh, imagine I've done 5x5 deadlift. I'm going to do this for 4 weeks, and my goal is to see linear progression in terms of load shifted." They'll chase numbers for the sake of numbers, so those numbers might be going up, but their technique might actually be reducing in quality. So, or the integrity of the movement's not maintained as the load goes up. So, you might buy a side note of lifted this weight, however, technique was a bit sketchy. Might need to regress next time. Does that make sense? Or particularly if you're working with a coach, at least it allows you to give more context to the lifts. And I think the other thing as well is when you're working with someone one-on-one, if they do keep a training diary, for them to write down coaching cues. I suppose it's different if they're actually having a coaching experience. Like if they're doing Olympic weightlifting and we say, start with your feet narrower and then punch the hands in the finish of the snatch. 9 times out of 10 people aren't going to remember those cues session to session.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the person. Again, you got that other dichotomy of you don't want to be spending your whole workout writing a journal of
dear diary.
Yeah, like your logbook's this thick and you've recorded like 3 exercises. You've written a novel about your journey. Yeah, the rain was falling harsh. I stepped out of my car. My shoes moist from the puddle I stepped in.
Moist.
That's my attempt at a novel coming soon.
So in terms of capturing like a soundbite for whatever goes on
For this one,
make sure that goes up.
I walked
My
into
feet
the
were
gym.
moist after stepping.
This is something I do with JT. I'll go up to him and I'll go in a weird like monologue about lifting. So I'll be like, you know, you just touch the bar and you get the connection. Everyone's looking at you. You know, the gym goes silent. And you're just ready to pick it up. You know, and then I'm there, I pick up the weight, everyone's like clapping, cheering, going crazy, and you know, I knew I had the lift before I got it. Put the weight down, big weight, no big deal. Alright, see you later. And then just walk off and he's like, you're an idiot. But yeah, it's just a good way to wind up
Cool.
an already angry man.
Another Q&A. So yours
Q&A.
was the summary, your quick fix was buy a logbook, mine was
Skip a meal.
Again, we didn't really have any context. But
yeah, you like you say, you get put on the spot with this one. Does fat make you fat?
No. Depends on technically yes. Depends on the quantity that you eat.
Fat, like any food, such as protein or carbohydrates, can make you fat if you eat too much of it. Fats.
Don't demonise a food group is what we often
say. Fat's easier to overeat because per gram there's just over double the calories in fat than there is in protein or carbohydrate. So protein, carbohydrate have 4 calories per gram, fat has 9. So that way if you ate 10 grams of peanut butter, it's going to be 90 calories or thereabouts, and then if you ate 10 grams of chicken, I mean tiny meals, you'd have around 40 calories. So it's a little easier to overeat if you're trying to lose fat. Don't avoid fat. It's got lots of health benefits. Like
what are the health benefits of having fat? Why can you not demonise fat or take it out or negate it?
Fat's often kind of seen as like the healthy macro. They're all healthy, but it's like the one that looks after your health. So things like how your body produces hormones, how well it can do that, the structure of your cells that make up your body, like are largely conditioned by fat, joint health, you know, like all these like things that help you. Insulation in winter. I mean, that's actual.
Goes alongside hibernation.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's something that you shouldn't avoid. It's something that if you're trying to lose weight and you might eat high content fatty foods, you might look at reducing perhaps. It all kind of depends. But it's certainly not to be demonized.
Yeah.
Fats as well, whilst they're calorie dense, they're also not the easiest foods to eat loads of. You know, I don't know anyone that's like, God, I just keep eating avocados and peanut butter on that. Like, peanut butter's delicious, but it's really hard to eat a lot of it because it's quite gloopy, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like carbohydrates tend to be easier to overeat based on flavour. You know, it's easy to consume a load of sugar through a drink. It's easy to have that little bit of chocolate and keep eating them.
Check the gym's open, mate.
Do it.
Continue. I'll be back in a sec.
We've got another question. Yeah, so don't worry about fat. Like it's something I've heard before with people kind of saying like, I've got some vegetables. I don't want to have something like red meat because it's got fat in. So something like beef steak or something because it's got fat in. And yeah, it's got fat in. There'll come some calories with it, but like it's healthy. It's not like it's going to get you like a trans fat. So they're the fats you want to avoid. Are the fats that you find in like heavily processed foods. You know that, and the fat's been kind of started in a liquid state and it's gone into a solid state to help kind of preserve it and make sure it's got a longer shelf life. They're kind of like the bastardized versions of fat that you probably want to stay away from. They don't really provide the same kind of health benefits, and they just come with a load of other questionable goo to avoid. So
to summarise,
fats it can do, but it's got a lot of good things, so you should definitely have it.
You should definitely have it, but not moderate.
Yeah,
be mindful of the quantity that you consume.
Exactly. Got time for one more?
Yeah, man. Pavlar, superstar, mate. He's saved my butt. He's in there.
Open the gym.
Away. Easy peasy.
Nice. Dream guest for the podcast, Scott. Who would you like to be sitting here? I'm gesturing between us.
I'll tell you what, dream guest. That's a hard one. You put me on the spot. The person I think directly, I'd like to try and get on there straight away would probably be JT. I think it'd be quite cool to get JT on the podcast. I think his insight's quite good.
Yeah.
I went up to Edinburgh recently, and again, when you're away for a weekend, amongst the drinking of beer and amongst other things, when you're away on a lads' weekend away for rugby, you do have some pretty insightful conversation as well.
He's a smart guy, isn't he?
He's a very smart guy, very funny as well, even though he looks like a steak. He's catching on now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I don't think he looks like a steak at all.
For little to no reason, yeah.
But I think it would be good to have him on a podcast. I suppose if you're looking at...
I think it's nice that as a dream guest you've actually opted for someone that you know and is actually... will actually come on air at some point.
Yeah, he knows his shit, I think, and yeah.
What about just like madness? You know, there's just...
Madness.
Do you have like someone that you'd be intrigued to get their insight on, or?
I don't know. Maybe you give yours across. Give me a little bit of time to think.
Mine's quite like JT. I thought the Queen would be pretty good. Just because it would shuttle a load of people to the podcast. Like everyone would be like, bloody hell, the Queen's doing like a fitness podcast with two morons. What's going on here? Yeah.
You call him a moron?
Right. No,
one moron and another smart guy.
And Scott. No, but and as well, you know, everyone's got their idea on royalty or whatever. Pretty interesting lady. She's seen some stuff.
You're a royalist?
She's got a...
Are you from a royal family?
Yeah. I like the like they've not done anything to me. I don't get too worked up about the fact that they've got things that I don't have. I probably wouldn't want to do what they do. But yeah, there's some interesting question. That woman has had a front seat to history. She's had like meetings with Winston Churchill and during the like.
I think that's a good one actually, because I think a lot of the time it's very difficult to feel like you get them getting celebrities on a podcast. A lot of the time you're going to be getting a lot of their insights on social media anyway. So you know, Instagram stories and the fact that a lot of people are doing podcasts, you hear a lot of insights in terms of the people that you would follow anyway. Yeah. Does that make sense? So like, there's people in the fitness industry, I guess, that are quite interesting to bounce ideas off the table, but I think that would actually be pretty boring. Yeah, it's actually getting the Queen in. I think that would be pretty cool.
I love that you were saying that. Actually, you know, if we get the Queen in,
let's make this happen.
Yeah,
let's make this happen. I don't think this will happen.
But I think, and I reckon if you did have some big, you know, sports star or some well-known coach, I wouldn't want to ask them questions about, like, if you take I'm trying to think, like Kelly Starrett or something, he said a lot of what you need to know about mobility already, like throughout all these other outlets. I'd be more interested in like, what's your favourite movie? Like what if you could
find more about the person rather than their coaching knowledge.
Yeah,
And
what do you do when you're bored and things like that?
Athletes.
Athletes. Conor McGregor's an interesting guy. Like he's certainly got a bit.
Documentary Notorious.
Is it good?
No, have you not seen it?
I've not seen it. No, it's alright.
It is very good. It is very good.
But he's just obviously like an interesting dude.
Someone who believes in themselves like wholeheartedly that they're going to be victorious and win. Like that's
and takes a lot of risks.
You can't learn that. That's like that's innate. You're born with that.
Yeah.
That confidence and that drive and stuff like that.
I don't know if
it's quite insightful.
I don't know if you're born with it. You've got to put the work into.
I'm not sure if he
support.
winged it until he made it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
For a long time, I'm going to win. But he ended up backing up the talk with action, which is unbelievable.
Have you seen the Cristiano Ronaldo documentary?
No, I don't really like that guy.
I hated that guy, and I don't follow football really. I don't really care about football.
I think it's more the perception of football, and then.
But he was an arrogant, annoying dude. And when I watched the documentary, at least I felt like, as much as any documentary kind of tells you a version of the truth or the director's version of the truth, I empathised with him a bit more. Like he was like, I am the greatest footballer in the world, and I was like, well, maybe that's why he's so good. Like it's a bit like the Conor McGregor thing, and he didn't seem like a
line of confidence and arrogance, isn't it? And,
Yeah.
I don't see it as arrogance at the end of the day. The guy can back it up,
Yeah,
He
exactly.
has got a genuine claim. It would be arrogant if I was saying I am the best footballer in the world and I've got two left feet and can't score a goal straight. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, for him, he's got a genuine claim to actually say that
if you can back it up,
he is.
Yeah.
At least one of the best footballers in the world. Whether he is the best, I think that'll come down to personal opinion.
Exactly. You can't measure it really, can you?
You can't measure it.
You could.
There are metrics. How many goals did you score? I guess.
Yeah.
How many
That's rubbish if you're a goalkeeper, isn't
it? yeah.
But yeah, I think.
So my answer to the question was JT. A little bit boring, but
I had the Queen and Conor McGregor. But you can imagine the five of us sat around the table. Yeah, that'd be a hell of a podcast. We've got the Queen. Can I call you Elizabeth?
No.
Connor and James. Cool. I think we'll wrap it up there because you've got work to do. It's been a pleasure, sir.
As always.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. In the meantime, wake up!